season is officially back, and tonight we had the Cowboys, the Eagles. They went head to head, and honestly, it was actually a better game than I thought it was going to be. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Most of us had the Eagles winning this game, but it was a lot closer than I think most people, myself included, expected. But there's also a lot of stuff that happened during the game, a lot of dramatic, out-of-nowhere stuff. Now, what really had everybody talking was this whole spitting incident between Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott. Basically, what we saw was Jalen Carter got ejected from the game for spitting at Dak. You're going to see it here now. I mean, you saw that, right? You saw a clear spit bullet just go straight to Dak's chest. And look, I mean, it looked bad, don't get me wrong. Like, look, the guy literally spit on another person. That's just wrong. He should be ejected for that. However, the plot thickened when we got another look right before that happened where seemingly Dak spits first. Boom. There you go. You see it right there. Dak, gets a little spit vessel first. And that happens before what happens with Carter. Now, the difference for me, though, is that Dak was spitting towards the ground, whereas Carter absolutely was not. So I do think that there is a bit of a difference there. Although it seems that Dak did start it to some extent. We don't know what was said. We don't know what they were saying towards each other or anything like that. So at this point, we don't know if it was valid, but I'm just want to, at least set it straight. Dak did technically spit first. Another big headline that made waves during this game was the first half. A.J. Brown not only didn't have one receiving yard or a catch, the guy wasn't even targeted, and that was extremely confusing, especially because we all know that A.J. Brown is a terrific wide receiver. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if Sirianni just didn't want to drop any plays for him or if Jalen Hurts just didn't want to throw to him. I'm not really sure, but it was very bizarre that A.J. Brown just wasn't even being targeted. Now, on the other side of it for the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb did put up pretty decent numbers overall. However, he did have 4 drops total, which is just unacceptable for a guy as great as he is. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the entire NFL. And this was a big game. This could have been a statement game for the Cowboys if they had beaten the Super Bowl champions. And 4 drops, just unacceptable. But overall, as far as the game itself, it was actually quite gritty between both teams. Both teams had solid defenses throughout the night. I mean, Matt Eberflus did come up with some pretty decent schemes, although he did not do a great job at actually stopping Jalen Hurts from running the football. And Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley. There's only so much that you can do with that man. But what really made this game so fascinating was just the fact that both teams had ample opportunities to take a sizable lead, during the game, and that didn't have to go down to the last 5 minutes. And that's unfortunately what happened earlier with the Cowboys, especially with Miles Sanders. He unfortunately fumbled it as the Cowboys were making a pretty great run to get a touchdown earlier in the game.
From the 11-yard line, Sanders.
Boom, gets popped right there. And look, I mean, there's only so much that you can really do in that situation. It happens, I get it, but that's where protecting the ball becomes probably the most important thing that you could do, especially when you're that close and you're running the football right in the trenches too. But if I'm being completely honest with you, the Cowboys, at least to some extent, kind of impressed me. They put up a better fight against the Eagles than I was expecting. Now, sure, there was a couple of things that they could have done better. Execution could have been a little bit better. Defense could have tightened up. But at the end of the day, you're going up against the Super Bowl champions. I mean, really, if you put up a game like this close, you gotta get some props. At least for me, I think this game says more about the Cowboys than it does about the Eagles. I mean, as far as we can tell, maybe they're just having a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover at this point. Like, it's their first game of the year. I mean, they just got off of winning the entire thing. They had a phenomenal season. They still have a phenomenal team. And even if they lost this game to the Cowboys, I don't think anyone would be sweating them too much when it comes to how well they're going to do, throughout the season. But hey, for the first game of this new NFL season, that was just a fun time to watch, and I'm so excited to see how the season pans out. Really looking forward to my Chicago Bears on Monday. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about the game, and until next time, peace.